Mozart. The toddler pianist Leopold Mozart walked into the chapel in Salzburg, Austria, followed by his two small children. "I'd like to sign my daughter Naren up to for music lessons. She's 8 years old, and I already believe she has quite a talent for music," he said to the organist. The organist smirked a bit, for he knew how Leopold could boast about his children. "So when will you be signing up?" the tight little boy Anton asked. Leopold laughed at the joke, for little Wolfgang was only 3 years old, not for at least 5 years old. "I think it is certainly young enough." Little Wolfgang's fingers would barely be able to stretch over the keys. The organist promised to sign Nero up before Leopold left. The organist called Nero over to the church piano. "Come, I will give you a beginner lesson," he said. Nero ran over to her father, and Wolfgang toddled happily after her. "Me too, Papa, me too," he cried. No, Wolfgang, you are too small," said his father. "Pianos are not meant for little folks to touch. So please go outside and play." Wolfgang turned around obediently. If his father had seen the disappointed look on little Wolfgang's face, it would have broken his heart. Wolfgang went outside and played near the door of the church, but his every thought was on a piano. After Nora and Leopold had finished, they went to speak with the organist again. Wolfgang crept up to the piano and put his little hands on the keyboard. He began to play the simple scales he had heard his big sister practicing. The sound entranced him, and he played the scales over and over, playing them exactly right. He forgot everything else. He did not notice his father and sister standing behind him. He didn't even hear his father shouting for the organist to come to see. He was completely wrapped up in the music. He began changing the scales, even inventing simple tones of his own. Leopold started at his young son Wolfgang. The boy was a musical prodigy. The children wondered. Mozart played music as naturally as he breathed. When he was 4 years old, it took him for half an hour to learn a difficult piece of music that was written down. If he heard the piece, even if he heard it only once, he could memorize it instantly. When Wolfgang was 5, Leopold and a friend came in to find him bent over a piece of paper and writing big black notes, smearing and plattering ink everywhere. "Wolfgang, what are you doing? What are you doing, spoiling the nice clean paper?" his father asked. "Papa, I'm writing a concerto," Mozart said, his little eyes shining. His father picked up the paper and left. But soon his amusement turned to amazement. It was a concerto composed for several instruments. He could see that the notes were correct, despite the smears and blotched. But Wolfgang, this music would be too difficult for anyone to play. He said, "Oh no, it would only take some practice. See, it goes like this," said Wolfgang, and he ran to the piano and placed his smudge paper on the music stand and began to play. His father's friend had been laughing. He assumed Leopold was just playing along with Wolfgang, but now he saw that the child was a true wonder. "You ought to travel with him," the friend suggested. "He should be playing for emperors, for kings and queens." "Perhaps I will," said his father. The following year, the Wolfgang was only 6 years old. He and Narwhal started on tour. Wherever Wolfgang went to play, people would giggle at him. He was so small compared to the big piano, and his feet couldn't even touch the floor. But when he began to play, the audiences felt silent. His playing was perfect and beautiful. The first place they went to play was in Vienna, the capital of Austria. On the way, they stopped to visit a monastery in the little town of Ipoh. There was a great pipe organ in the chapel. "I want to play on it," Wolfgang said. "Papa explained the pedals to me." Wolfgang's father helped his son onto the high stool. He was too small to even operate the pedals, so he walked across them instead. The music poured out of the chapel, growing more and more powerful. The monks, who had been at dinner, rushes into the room. Because Wolfgang was so small, those monks could not see him, and they thought the organ was playing itself. "It's an angel," they cried. "Such music must come from heaven." Wolfgang was also very charming. Everywhere he went, people were smitten with this little musician. The customs officials asked him why he came to Vienna. "I came to play the piano," he said. "Why, you are no bigger than a chicken. You can't be old enough to play anything but a whistle." "I'll show you," Wolfgang said. He asked the officials to open the box containing his piano, and the little boy began to play right in the customs house. A crowd gathered around, and the head of customs immediately gave the order to let the Mozart family saw through without difficulty. After playing piano, Wolfgang was invited to spend the day with the royal children. One day, the princesses was the famous Marie Antoinette, who was just a little girl about Wolfgang's age. Wolfgang liked her very much. She took him around the palace to show him all the wonderful riches. He was not used to such smoothly polished floors, and He slipped and fell. All the children laughed except Mary. After she helped him up, Wolfgang said, When I'm a man, I'll marry you." The princess's servant gasped. Then Wolfgang put his arms around Mary and gave her a big kiss. "Dreadful," cried the servant, for it was never ever allowed for a common person to touch royalty. But Mary only laughed, took Wolfgang's hand, and gave him a kiss back. The poor young man, Wolfgang, his father, and his sister toured all around Europe. Wolfgang's fame grew, and he became a very handsome young man. But unfortunately, the life of a musician did not pay well. People were less impressed with his playing as he got older. After all, a 6-year-old musician was a marvel, but a 20-year-old musician was nothing new.